Today, we're counting down our picks for the top 10 stepmother and stepson relationship movies. If you enjoy this compilation of movies, don't forget to like and subscribe. Stay tuned until the end of the video and share your favorite film with us in the comments. Number 1. Orphans of Eldorado.
Você era sorrindo pra mim.
Set in the lush and enchanting beauty of the Amazon, this hypnotic exploration of love, obsession, and the thin veil between reality and folklore follows Arminto, a man who returns to his childhood home in the Amazonian port of Belém after his father's death. Far from a peaceful return, Arminto finds himself overcome with a desperate longing for Dinara, a mysterious and seemingly unattainable woman from his past. As his attraction turns into a burning obsession, Arminto begins to neglect his family's inheritance and wealth. He becomes increasingly detached from the material world, squandering his inheritance in pursuit of a woman who may be more myth than reality. Number 2. Another Happy Day.
You're my mother. Why didn't you help me fight for my children?
What were you doing with drugs, Elliot? You got out of your 4th rehab 3 months ago.
I am just going to talk to...
A dark comedy that explores the complex and often painful intersection between family loyalty and mental health. The story centers on Lynn, a tense and emotionally fragile mother who travels to her parents' lavish Annapolis estate for the wedding of her estranged eldest son, Dylan. Lynn arrives with her 2 younger children. Elliot, a bright but cynical teenager, struggling with substance abuse and a sharp wit used as a defense mechanism. And Ben, the younger son, dealing with his own hidden vulnerabilities. The weekend quickly turns into a minefield of sensitive family dynamics as Lynn is forced to confront her cold mother, Doris, and her distant father. Number 3. Family Practice.
Die Nummern entsprechen diesen Nummern. Das ist das Buch.
Also alles, was so drauf gequatscht wird, muss ich nachher...
Genau, das sind meine Vorträge, Q&As, Interviews.
Simon Kaufman is a young man struggling to overcome the suffocating shadow of his father, a charismatic and domineering figure. Their relationship is a volatile mix of resentment and a pent-up desire for recognition. When his parents go on vacation, leaving Simon alone in their world, the tension doesn't dissipate. Instead, it finds a dangerous new outlet. Simon discovers his father's hidden life and begins a risky and planned flirtation with his father's mistress. What begins as a defiant act of rebellion quickly escalates into a high-stakes, emotional cat-and-mouse game. As Simon grows closer to her, the lines between revenge and genuine attraction blur, drawing him deeper into a tangled web of family secrets and betrayals. Number 4. Taboo. Family Secrets.
Are you threatening me?
In the dimly lit hallways of a luxurious estate, a tangle of betrayal, emotional turmoil, and fractured loyalties unfolds. The story centers on the powerful patriarch Lucas, whose long history of infidelity has quietly eroded the foundations of his marriage and his family's trust. Although Lucas maintains a facade of control, the emotional distance between him and his wife Amanda has reached a critical point. The fragile peace is shattered when their son, Tyler, returns home for a visit. Estranged from his father and drawn to the neglected Amanda, Tyler finds himself caught in an unexpected and emotionally charged attraction. What begins as mutual comfort quickly turns into a relationship between Tyler and his stepmother. Number 5. A fish swimming upside down. A haunting and atmospheric exploration of domestic tensions and evaporating emotional boundaries, the story centers on Andrea, a woman seemingly living without a past or traditional anchors. After the death of his wife, Philip invites Andrea to move into the house he shares with his teenage son, Martin. The house quickly becomes a crucible of unspoken emotions. Andrea, enigmatic and subtle, becomes a blank canvas onto which father and son project their deepest longings and sorrows. As she navigates her role between the two men, a complex love triangle emerges, blurring the lines between convenience, substitution, and romantic obsession. Number 6. Last Summer.
Hier, il m'a dit que j'avais adopté les filles uniquement pour me donner bonne conscience.
The Boundaries of Power and Family Betrayal. Anne, a highly successful and respected lawyer specializing in defending minors who have been victims of abuse, lives a seemingly perfect and prosperous life in the suburbs of Paris with her husband Pierre and their 2 young daughters. The balance of their household is disrupted when Theo, Pierre's estranged and rebellious 17-year-old son from a previous marriage, moves into their home. Although the relationship between stepmother and stepson begins with tension and skepticism, it quickly develops into something far more. Anne, who has spent her career protecting children, finds herself increasingly drawn to Theo's youthful. Number 7. Perfect Health.
Les unilares sunt de la căderea pescării. Sunt prea multe.
Mi-a spus că ar vrea să moară repede, să nu apuce să-i pară rău.
Tu ai idee dacă taică mi-a avea dușmani?
A young man whose life is turned upside down by the sudden and unexplained death of his father, a high-ranking and respected judge. Although official reports state that Andre's father was in perfect health and died of natural causes, he is haunted by inconsistencies surrounding his final moments. His suspicions lead him back to a quiet provincial town where the veneer of suburban peace hides a labyrinth of corruption and silence. As Andre digs deeper, he shakes the life of the community, turning his grief into a compulsive search for answers. However, his quest for justice quickly turns into a downward spiral. He becomes entangled in a web of love, emotions, and lies, particularly involving a mysterious woman. Number 8. Queen of Hearts.
Ta på varandra. Och kan vi inte det så kan vi inte ha det boende här. Pappa! Du ska... Pappa!
An accomplished and dedicated lawyer specializing in representing child and adolescent victims of abuse. Her life seems perfect. She lives in a stunning modern house in the woods with her husband, Peter, Magnus Krepper, and their twin daughters. However, the balance of their home life is disrupted when Gustav Lind, Peter's estranged and troubled son from a previous marriage, moves in. What begins as Anne's Trindarholm attempt to guide and provide a stable environment for the rebellious Gustav soon turns into something far more dangerous. Driven by a complex mix of midlife angst and a desire for power, Anne begins an emotional relationship with her teenage stepson. Number 9. The River.
¿Quieres intentarlo?
A haunting coming-of-age drama set in the humid and oppressive climate of tropical Bolivia. The story follows Sebastian, an introverted and sensitive city teenager who is sent to live with his estranged father, Raphael, on a remote timber ranch. Raphael is a tough and authoritative figure who embodies toxic traditional masculinity, ruling the land and his workers with a cold, firm hand. As Sebastian struggles to adapt to his new surroundings and understand his role as the ranch's heir, he is thrown into a world where normalized violence has become a social currency. He soon meets Julieta, his father's young wife, whose presence complicates the household dynamics. Number 10. Scandal, Story of an Obsession.
Estoy hasta los cojones de tus putos traumas, de tu dependencia emocional. Se acabó, no puedo más.
¿Qué se acabó?
Lo nuestro, hostia.
Inez is a 42-year-old woman trapped in a cycle of emotional decline and profound loneliness. Reaching a breaking point where her existence feels like an unbearable burden, she decides to throw herself into the sea, attempting to end her life amidst the dark waves. However, fate intervenes in the form of Hugo, a strikingly handsome and charismatic teenager who dives into the water to save her from drowning. While Hugo sees his act as a simple act of heroism, Inés views him as a divine savior. This chance encounter ignites a dangerous spark within her, quickly transforming from gratitude into a forbidden obsession that consumes her. Despite the vast age difference and the constraints of societal morals, Inés is determined to possess Hugo.